Hey, how you doing today? I'm back again. Can't get rid of me. Got a little frog in my throat. Been too much sun. This is a painting. Solar Cruise. It's a 36.5 by a 41.5. How I ever got these half measures, I don't know, but this is a canvas that I built years ago, and and maybe my calculations were a little bit off. So it's a one of a kind. It's a, like I said, an acrylic on canvas. It's a large painting. It's dealing with the sun, and of course the sun would be much brighter than this, but if it was brighter, you couldn't see it. In fact, you wouldn't, if it was so fully bright, you wouldn't even see the starship or the well, maybe the Princess Anne, the Ice Queen of the Arctic or whatever. It's a cruise ship, and there's a few other celestial bodies in the painting. There's this planet here that's kind of a cool bluish planet, like an Earth-like planet. Of course, if it was, it would have a moon. I don't see no moon around that planet, so it's something I didn't do. I might put a moon in later because I never realized it didn't have a moon. And here's another planet, and this is kind of a reddish planet, could be Mars, since those are the two planets that...
could be Mercury, too.
Could be Mercury. Of course, Mercury might be on the other side of the sun. If you'll notice that the solar wind, if you look down at the bottom of the painting, it's pretty dark. You look at the top of the painting, it's pretty dark. But if you look at the sides, and here, you'll notice the flow of color of the heat. The sun is like any other body in the heavens. It has an orbit and a rotation, and at the rotation, the energy rotates around that sun, and sometimes it'll have an explosion. It'll go off in different directions. I guess those should be called like, the solar wind type of things that get bounced out. But the basic rotation of the sun is in a circular motion, and the planets are circling around the sun in this way, and this cruiser, the Solar Queen, is cruising by. It's got all these here along this edge are nothing but rows and rows of windows, ports to look out, running lights. It's got conning towers like a ship would have. It even has these things that are kind of almost like ships had little flags that they flew off of them. So that's what these are kind of like, but they're probably put to use as radar and sensory equipment. Same way as the back one has a back tower that has some aerials coming off of it and little boggles that are picking up vibrations and all kinds of sensories. It has running lights. The interior, it's like a city in space. And, it's capable of holding thousands upon thousands of people. It probably has recreational centers and growing centers. I mean, this thing is huge. And, of course, it's huge. Because look at the comparison. It's away from the sun, but still, this is pretty big. And it's not saying that, with technology, there's no how big you could become. So this is a huge vessel cruising the solar system. And there's these little specks around the edges are like a burning ember. I didn't put no swirls in. I could have put a little, if I was going to do it today, I might have put a few explosions, swirls flaring out.
Solar flares.
Yeah, solar flare-like things. Just like I said, I would probably put a little moon here. So that would say, oh, that is Earth, because it's got a little moon. I never thought about when I painted this painting. My idea of the painting at the time was just a sun and a spaceship, a leisure spaceship. This is not a scientific probe,
It's not a
nothing like
warship
that,
either.
or a warship. It may have some capabilities, but it's a ship that's carrying people.
A passenger liner.
A passenger liner. It might even have scientific laboratories and all sorts of things on it. It's a city in space, moving. So it has whatever any city would have. Everything that a city would have is there. And plus its workers, the people who maintain the ship. And I mean, there's so much going on here. Lifeboats, all sorts of things. And this has a very sharp point here, which has got a little running light on the end. It's got some antennas crossing. Oh, that's a piece of dust. That doesn't belong on the painting. At first I thought it was a little lifeline, because I saw that and I went, what is that? Little piece of dust. It shows you how old this painting is. Right here, it's the ship that is, the name of this ship is the Omega-1.
Oh.
So this ship does have a name. I just realized it. It's been so long since I've looked at this. I just dug it out of my storage today to do this little thing on it. I'm starting to run out of paintings to show, so I got to get busy to start and get the ones I'm painting on finished. Anyway, yeah, this is Omega-1. And
What year did you paint it?
it had to be someplace. It's on the back of the painting. I didn't bother to look, but it's probably early mid-70s.
Okay.
You know, when I was probably in my 30s. You know, mid-30s, late 30s.
That's...
Yeah.
What other things were you doing at that time?
At this time in my life, I was doing a lot of portraits and commercial artwork, posters, things for, I've done everything from movie posters to record albums to all kinds of logos, trademarks, personal identity type of stuff. People would come to me with an idea and they'd say, can you do this? And I'd say, oh yes, of course I can. So I would create these miracles because it was just a gift that I was born with, able to visualize other people's concepts and ideas. So that's how I supported myself most of my younger years. And I never got rich off it. I'm a starving artist. Most artists who become famous or well-known already have connections even before they started. And somebody who comes from a dirt poor background, my parents were very middle class, lower middle class, not upper middle class, but they were middle class. And I came up in the happy day type of environment. And art was the one thing that I'm always able to do, and that's what I spent my life supporting myself with, is art. And but I was always a fine artist. I was always into doing fine art, and I'm always into the weird stuff. I like things that are different. But I did landscapes and seascapes and all kinds of portraitures and identity type of stuff. And, it wasn't always stuff I was doing for myself. Just as creativity was for myself, but what I was doing was for other people. Because what I did for myself was something that was a little bit more off the wall, more fantasy, more...
What inspired you to paint this?
Well, I've always been interested in the solar system, the stars. And like I said, you can't see the sun. You can't look at the sun with your eyes and go, oh yeah, isn't that great? You go blind. So the colors, it represents the heat, energy. If you put some special kind of goggles and glasses on, you might be able to, like I said, there could be little solar eruptions that I didn't put in, but this is a very peaceful ball of energy throwing out.
Well, sure, it's a space cruise,
right? And so, yeah. At this time in my life, also, I was doing a bunch of, well, like I said, I like to do circles. I'm into circles. Everything is circular. The universe, your body is made up of all these little circulars that make up your being. Circle roundness seems to be the natural order of things. So at this time I was even doing paintings on souls, which were also circles and stuff like that. I was experimenting with fluorescent paints and black light paints and all different kinds of paints, adding them to my paint, creating these very strange paintings that under certain lighting effects had shimmering, glowing kind of effects. Anyway, we're going to talk about that sometime later. And I got a new painting I'm working on that's I'm just waiting to show and talk about as soon as I get it finished, if ever. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up now. So, stay tuned to our channel by taking a free prescription to our by pushing the little red button. And I know I still have problems with talking about this because I'm not a very commercial-like person. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Press that little button. Bye-bye.
Absolutely wonderful. You did so well with that talk. So